Welcome, Tai, to our podcast of Toastmasters Tallinn.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that you agreed to talk to me because you, as ex-president of Toastmasters Tallinn, you have inspired me and I think also a lot of other Toastmasters members to develop themselves. But actually, what I wanted to talk with you about is why did you join Toastmasters in the first place?
I think a lot of people know that I keep saying that because I was bored. But frankly, I think it was about the visibility of Toastmaster because the one member of Toastmaster in Vietnam, they had a club open in my home city and he kept posting different activities that Toastmaster they had in Vietnam, and it just popped out on my Facebook, and then I just noticed it. And then there was one day I walked by Old Town in Tallinn, and then at that time Toastmaster Tallinn had the meeting outdoors. And then I walked by and then I saw the sign. Like, oh, so it's a real thing. It's also happening here. And then I checked on Facebook and I saw the club. And then I decided to attend one meeting to see how it was. And when I attended the meeting, I kind of like it because I realized that, oh, I like talking. And it's also a club about talking. Then maybe it works. And then after that, I joined the club like right away. But partly beside that, because I wanted to do something else outside of my work. And it was kind of a perfect fit at that time for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you said that you like talking. So speaking is not a problem for you. However, in what way has Toastmasters helped you in your personal life or maybe in your professional life?
I think I didn't have or I don't have the stage fright as a lot of people came to Toastmaster for that reason. But what I learned from Toastmaster was how to construct your speech better or how to pay more attention to different ways of talking with the tones and the speed and the emotion that you can put into the speech. And from my professional perspective, I think now I shift my focus more to be a better communicator because as a dentist, I have to explain a lot to the patients. And sometimes I still felt of how to communicate well with them. Sometimes they misunderstood me or I didn't explain well. But then I kind of pay attention to what I could do better or differently with another patient, for example. In my personal life, now I also try to be like a content creator. And I think it's helped to boost my confidence to speak in front of the camera, even it's a bit different compared between like talking to live audience or with camera. But it also the same way that I know how to structure the speech or what I could do to kind of grab attention or maintain the attention. It's a bit difficult online because people can just scroll to the next one. But overall, it helped me improving the way I talk.
When I just listen to your answer, so for me, if I'm like not a Toastmaster, I would think, okay, people just come together and they just talk. So what are they doing? What was the tool that helped you to develop yourself, like to structure your...
I think there are two main things that I really improved through Toastmaster. The one thing is the pathway that I actually follow it really strictly to develop step by step of the foundation that you know what is the structure of the speech and then the elements of how to develop the speech in different ways. And the second one was on the contest that I participated. I think at first it felt a bit stupid because it's like, what is the contest and why you do that? But when I moved on to different rounds, and I learned from the mistakes that I made, and because I was in the contest, I kind of actively look for advice or tips and tricks from YouTube of other Toastmasters. They posted on YouTube of how to do evaluation contest or how to write a speech, or I look for other YouTubers who talks about developing public speaking in general, and then I learn all of those tips. And the third part I could say was evaluation, not the evaluation for you, but also the evaluation that you did for other members. Because when you said to other members, oh, you should do this or you do that, and then you realize that maybe I should do that too to my speech. And then I started to apply what I evaluated to others and receive the feedback from others what to improve with my speech.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, I know that you even got to a district level contest.
Yes.
And that was amazing. You made us very proud. And that brings me to my next question. What was your most memorable experience from your Toastmasters journey?
My most memorable, probably the time that I decided to be a guest speaker at the district conference. Because when I got the evaluation contest, like the third place in the evaluation contest, then after that I decided not to be in the contest anymore, but I still wanted to experience the district conference. And it was like, what else that I could do? And then I was like, maybe I can be the guest speaker. So I still can speak at the district level, but not in the contest. So that was my initial thought. And then when I did the speech, I was torn between two ideas. One was more like a Toastmaster topics friendly, like very popular, common, like, oh, this is my lesson, or I made this mistake, or what you can do differently. Or the other way is to be a bit more authentic and like true to myself. And at that time, I was always afraid of storytelling because I didn't really want to tell my story so much. I felt it's too revealing. But we had one time we had the meeting outdoors with the camping, another camping, the hiking, and then I did the test for the speech at the camp, and I felt like the speech, and I used that one for the district conference at the best speech. And I think it worked really well for me, and it also, I think it resonated with the audience. And that was probably the most memorable experience that I had with Toastmaster.
I see. Yeah. So you talked about everything you learned and developed regarding speaking and Toastmasters, but what other skills you also maybe have developed beside the speaking and beside the communication part?
I took different roles during the Toastmaster period. I was mainly with the social media management, and I think it's applied to what I try to do now as my digital content creator, because I know the tools that I can use. And during the time when I did with Toastmaster, I tried different things to see what it works on, how it worked, and then I applied that to my current activities to create the content for my channels. With the leadership, I think the time I was as the VP PR and the president, frankly for me, the leadership is not really something that I'm very into, but I just did it mainly to see how it goes. I do learn how to work in a team, but to apply it in more, let's say, real life situation, is still a bit different, I guess, because in Toastmaster you already have the framework or the concept or the people kind of on the same page. But in real life, it's probably not the same, like that everyone's like always agree with you or go to the same direction as you want.
Yeah, I can agree on that with this point. And now I would like to ask the final question to you. So, if someone is considering joining Toastmasters, what advice would you give them?
I think most important is to define what is your goal to join Toastmaster, because I have talked to both members who stay in Toastmaster and someone who just attended one meeting and never turned back, because I met them in other events. So the one who stayed in Toastmaster because they felt resonate with the experience they have with the club, the people they meet, and they felt that they developed through the program. And I think if you have a clear goal of what you want to achieve from Toastmaster, whether you want to socialize or whether you want to improve public speaking, and if you see if it works for you, because maybe it's not work for everyone, then you can stay in Toastmaster. The one who didn't really stay with Toastmaster, they either felt it's too boring for them or they didn't have what they look for, no matter what they're looking for. So in short, to be clear of what you're looking for and then come to the meeting and to see if that is what you're looking for. Not specifically for Toastmaster Tallinn, but if you just want to join Toastmaster everywhere, if there an opportunity that they have multiple clubs in one location, then you can try different clubs, because each club might have a different dynamic and you may feel like you suit with this one rather than the other club. Alternatively, you can also try out with online meetings. There's some club, they do only online meetings, and you can also try out those meetings.
So basically, you need to know what you want.
Yes.
And only if you do that, then you can see if Toastmasters is something for you or not. Yes.
And it goes back to the first question, why I joined Toastmaster. I think it's more important that why I stayed in Toastmaster, because when I felt that I was bored and I found a place to be, and because I like speaking, but at that time I thought I was a good speaker because what to improve, so I just went for fun. But after several meetings and I saw other members who did the speech, like, it can be done differently. Wow, they're so energetic, or they tell the stories like so beautifully. And like, I actually can improve. And then I realized that, okay, it can be improved. And then when I stayed over time, I started to see the changes in the way I speak also.
Okay. Thank you, Tai, for coming in today at this beautiful location. Thank you very much to Draper Startup House Tallinn for giving us this space. And good luck with your social media channels.
Thank you.
And with your further communicating and speaking. And yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.